September 16th, 1991. Dear friend, I have finished To Kill a Mockingbird. It is now my favorite book of all time, but then again, I always think that until I read another book. My advanced English teacher asked me to call him Bill when we're not in class, and he gave me another book to read. He says that I have great skill at reading and understanding language, and he wanted me to write an essay about To Kill a Mockingbird. I mentioned this to my mom, and she asked why Bill didn't recommend that I just take a sophomore or junior English class. And I told her that Bill said that these were basically the same classes with more complicated books, and that it wouldn't help me. My mom said that she wasn't sure and would talk to him during open house. Then she asked me to help her by washing the dishes, which I did. Honestly, I don't like doing dishes. I like eating with my fingers and off napkins, but my sister says that doing so is bad for the environment. She is a part of the Earth Day Club here in high school, and that is where she meets the boys. They are all very nice to her, and I don't really understand why, except maybe the fact that she is pretty. She really is mean to these boys. One boy has it particularly hard. I won't tell you his name, but I will tell you all about him. He has very nice brown hair, and he wears it long with a ponytail. I think he will regret this when he looks back on life. He is always making mixtapes for my sister with very specific themes. One was called Autumn Leaves. He included many songs by the Smiths. He even hand-colored the cover. After the movie he rented was over and he left, my sister gave me the tape. "Do you want this, Charlie?" I took the tape, but I felt weird about it because he had made it for her, but I listened to it and loved it very much. There's one song called Asleep that I would like you to listen to. I told my sister about it, and a week later she thanked me because when this boy asked her about the tape, she said exactly what I said about the song Asleep, and this boy was very moved by how much it meant to her. I hope this means I will be good at dating when the time comes. I should stick to the subject, though. That is what my teacher Bill tells me to do because I write kind of the way I talk. I think that is why he wants me to write that essay about To Kill a Mockingbird. This boy who likes my sister is always respectful to my parents. My mom likes him very much because of this. My dad thinks he's soft. I think that's why my sister does what she does to him. This one night she was saying very mean things about how he didn't stand up to the class bully when he was 15 or something like that. To tell you the truth, I was just watching the movie he had rented, so I wasn't paying very close attention to their fight. They fight all the time, so I figured that the movie was at least something different, which it wasn't, because it was a sequel. Anyway, after she leaned into him for about 4 movie scenes, which I guess is about 10 minutes or so, he started crying very hard. Then I turned around and my sister pointed at me. "You see, even Charlie stood up to his bully, you see." And this guy got really red-faced, and he looked at me, then he looked at her, and he wound up and hit her hard across the face. I mean hard. I just froze because I couldn't believe he did it. It was not like him at all to hit anybody. He was that boy that made mixtapes with themes and hand-colored covers until he hit my sister and stopped crying. The weird part is that my sister didn't do anything. She just looked at him very quietly. It was so weird. My sister goes crazy if you eat the wrong kind of tuna, but here was this guy hitting her, and she didn't say anything. She just got soft and nice, and she asked me to leave, which I did. After the boy had left, she said that they were going out and not to tell mom or dad what happened. I guess he stood up to his bully, and I guess that makes sense. That weekend, my sister spent a lot of time with this boy, and they laughed a lot more than they usually did. On Friday night, I was reading a new book, but my brain got tired, so I decided to watch some television instead. And I opened the door to the basement, and my sister and this boy were naked. He was on top of her, and her legs were draped over either side of the couch, and she screamed at me in a whisper, "Get out, you pervert." So I left. The next day, we all watched my brother play football, and my sister invited this boy over. I am not sure when he left the previous night. They held hands and acted like everything was happy. And this boy said something about how the football team hasn't been the same since my brother graduated, and my dad thanked him. And when the boy left, my dad said that this boy was becoming a fine young man who could carry himself. And my mom was quiet, and my sister looked at me to make sure I wouldn't say anything. And that was that. Yes, he is. That's all my sister could say. And I could see this boy at home doing his homework and thinking about my sister naked. And I could see them holding hands at football games that they do not watch. And I could see this boy throwing up in the bushes at party houses. And I could see my sister putting up with it, and I felt very bad for both of them. Love always, Charlie.